It's me, Marco, and today we're making some soft pretzels. You know, one of my favorite snack foods. So, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some flour, baking soda, salt, yeast, just a little bit of brown sugar, and some unsalted butter. You're also going to need some water and a bowl. Let's get started. So, first step, we need to warm this up. So I'm going to put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds and see how warm it is. So next step is we're going to need to put our yeast into the water. We're going to need 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. And we're going to need to mix that in, and we're also going to need to let it rest or soak there for just a couple minutes. So our next step, well, not necessarily, but we need to take 1 tablespoon of butter, and we need to melt that. So while we're doing our next steps, we're going to go ahead and put this in the microwave to melt. Okay, so our butter is ready, and we need, oh, hold on. We need a teaspoon of salt, just 1. So we're gonna go ahead, pour this over the bowl, because any extra, it's not gonna hurt, not really. And we're gonna go ahead and dump that in there. Next step is we need a whole tablespoon of brown sugar. Now I'm sure this is gonna make it just a little sweeter, but the salt that you're gonna add later, it's gonna even it out. So let's go ahead and put that in there, and let's stir it up just a little. Alright, and now our mixture is soaking in the warm water, and it should start to dissolve. You're going to add your melted butter in here, just a tablespoon, and you're going to whisk that up. Make sure it's all thoroughly mixed, and you got this good concoction. It should look something like that. Okay, so next we're going to need 3 cups of flour, and you're going to want to stir the mixture in between cups. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a cup of flour. Let's make sure it's even. That's about 1 cup right there, and let's dump it in. Now I recommend, you know, it's going to start getting thick, and you might want to use a wooden spoon. Now, I'm just going to use the whisk just to kind of get it started, because it's about the consistency of pancake batter, maybe just a little bit runnier. And you're going to want to get it all off the sides, and you're going to try to get rid of any clumps, because you don't want clumps in here. Your dough is still sticky, just like mine, as you can see here. You're going to want to add maybe 3/4 of a cup of flour. And if it's still sticky after that, add less. Next step is you're going to want to maybe flour your fingers. It's just something that I'm going to do, just so that the dough doesn't stick. And you're going to want to do is you're going to want to poke it, and if it bounces back, it's ready to knead. And if you used instant yeast, this should be very quick. What you're going to want to do after that, our dough is ready. You're going to want to put some flour on your hands and put some flour on a surface. So let's go ahead and do that. That way we can handle the dough without it sticking to us. And you're going to want to put flour all over the table. Don't worry, we'll pick it up later. And there you go. So, see, it's not sticking. And we'll show you how to knead. So, first step of kneading, you flatten it out. Just like so. And then you take one side and you fold it over and then you flatten it out. That's just how I was taught. If you guys know a better way, leave it down in the comments below. And if you have any problem with it sticking, just kind of rub more flour around. And that way, your dough does not stick anywhere that it's not supposed to. You're going to want to do this for about 3 minutes. Then you're going to want to roll it up into a ball. And you're going to want to put a towel over it and let it rest for a little bit. You guys are going to want this to sit for about 10 minutes with the towel over it. This way, it has enough time to rise. So we're actually going to do a little separate experiment. So the recipe calls for parchment paper, but we're also going to try butter spray, non-stick. So this stuff is supposed to make it so that whatever you're cooking does not stick to the pan. So you're going to want to preheat the oven to 204 degrees Celsius. Now that our oven's preheating, we're going to need to cut this into sections. So let's go ahead. Now obviously this is not our finished product, but we're getting close, guys. Be patient. Alright, there you go. This is about what it should look like. Not too bad. You need to roll them into 20-inch ropes, also no longer than 2 feet. Business, we're going to need to tie it. So let's go ahead and, I guess, tie it, knot it, I guess. So let's go ahead, put it like so, maybe just a little bit more pretty, and you're going to twist like so, and boom, Pretzelarino, you got one. We're gonna need an egg wash to make our pretzels nice and brown, so let's get the cracking. You're gonna want to whisk your eggs, but me, I'm just gonna use magic. So here's our egg wash, and now we're going to put it on. So you're going to need one of these. But me, again, magic. Just like that, our stuff is done. So next, we're going to go ahead and put our stuff on the pan. Our oven's preheated, and we need to let them cook. So let's go ahead, put that there, and move them over. Now, like I said, we are going to do a small mini experiment, and we're going to see which one works the best. Now, seeing as how we have an odd number of pretzels, we're just going to, it doesn't really matter. So, let's go ahead and put them on the parchment paper and on the grease. Now you're also going to want to add some salt. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now we don't have any salt like pretzel salt. So we're just going to use some granulated sugar, or granulated salt, not sugar. Just like that. And kind of sprinkle it on. And we'll add salt if we need. Let me get some more salt. You want to be pretty liberal. I mean, you don't want to make them so that it just tastes like salt. But that should be ready to go. And we're going to go ahead and put them in the oven. I'm going to put these in for about 12 to 15 minutes. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. And it would be best if you put them on the top shelf, but seeing as how they won't fit, we're going to have to do both shelves. Obviously, be careful when you're doing this. I'm a professional, not really, but seriously, be careful. Since I am extremely impatient and, you know, I'm kind of magic, I mean, why not use some? So, yeah. Okay, so, they're done. By a little power of magic, we have pretzels. Now you can dip them in a little bit of butter. You can dip them in whatever you want. So, let's go ahead and give them a shot. So, little taste test here. I got my melted butter. I mean, doesn't that look so freaking good? Alright. Now, this butter might be really hot. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, I love it. I hope you guys enjoy.